This is the very shiny Sony XZ Premium. This is their flagship for 2017, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on this earlier in the year. So if you want to see that video, I'm gonna leave it linked down below for you. It's finally here. I've been using this for about a week, so I'm ready to share my experiences with you guys. And just in case you're curious, here's what you get if you buy the Sony XZ Premium. You get a pretty standard box, nothing special. I ended up buying the silver or luminous chrome model, but it's also available in black and pink. In the box, you end up getting a bunch of paperwork and warranty stuff, and you also get a USB Type-C cord. You get a power brick that uses Quick Charge 3.0. I'm not sure why they didn't use Quick Charge 4.0 since it's capable. Doesn't make any sense. And finally, you get a pair of Sony headphones. So that's nice to see included in this phone because it's at the top of the premium price point. It's $800 full price in the US, but it all depends on where you live. This is the dual SIM model, so I can get the most bands I could. I'm using it right now with T-Mobile. It works great, and this phone will support 1 gigabit speeds when that's available. When I first saw this phone, I was super excited because it had flagship written all over it. It had the premium design, it had the world's first 4K HDR display with dual front-facing speakers, it's IP68 water and dust resistant, and has on paper a beast 19 megapixel f2.0 camera with tons of software features and a dedicated camera button, which I personally love. The more time that I spent with this phone, the more that my opinion has changed about it, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain. First, let's talk about the design. A ton of people are gonna hate this forehead and chin combo, and I have to admit they are huge when you put it up to something like the Galaxy S8 Plus. It really does look old school. But there's something about this device that I appreciate. It looks a lot more elegant in person, and when you hold it in your hand, you know it's a premium device. It's kind of heavy. It does have some sharp corners that dig into your hand a little bit. It's all wrapped up in Gorilla Glass 5. It's super glossy though, and a fingerprint farm, but I like it. It's kind of hard to explain until you have hands-on time with it. Now, I wouldn't mind if D-Brand made a skin for this because it gets slippery as hell, and if you drop this phone, it's probably done. It's a big phone though, so be prepared. About the same size as an iPhone 7 Plus, but it makes something like the Galaxy S8 look like a supermodel, and an older iPhone look like a toy. I love the fingerprint scanner placement on here because I'm right-handed. It's perfect, it works great, and even left-handed, I set it up with my middle finger, but I can see people not liking this placement, but I personally think it's genius. I do have to admit the tray is hideous on the left-hand side where the SIM and the SD card slot is, but overall, I like this classic design, 3.5mm headphone jack on the top and USB-C port on the bottom. This thing has a 5.5-inch 4K HDR panel with the crazy 807 pixels per inch. This is an absolutely beautiful IPS display. The colors are very vibrant. The contrast and black levels are awesome for an LCD. And when you play back a 4K video, it looks absolutely mind-blowing. The viewing angles are decent, but they could be better. You do get fading pretty quickly, and while it's not terrible, I've seen better on other flagships, so I'm a little bit disappointed with this. I do like the fact that you can change the profiles of the display, and there is an sRGB mode. That is my favorite because it is the most color accurate to my eyes, but you can change it to have more vibrance if you like, and Sony's mode is a nice medium. I personally love front-facing speaker setups on smartphones. I think they are the best, they produce the best sound, and I love when HTC introduced this, but when you start to watch content on the XZ Premium, I think you're gonna be disappointed. It's not that the sound is bad, but it's the volume. I kept hitting the volume rocker to make sure I wasn't making a mistake. Other dual speaker setups sound much better and louder. Even the iPhone sounds better. With these bezels, you think that you'd be getting boombox type sounds, but nope. Take a listen. The good thing is that the performance has been rock solid so far with the latest and greatest Snapdragon 835 and 4 gigabytes of RAM. Even though longer animations are all throughout the UI, it's very fluid, silky even, and it's also running Android 7.1.1 out of the box, which is a major win. The software is very close to stock Android with Sony apps to complement the Android experience, so I don't mind it at all. I haven't even changed my launcher yet because I didn't feel the need to. Tons of customizations like icon pack support are all baked in, so I really like this. Gaming is also on point like you would imagine, and even though this is a 4K display, the UI and other elements are running in a lower resolution. If you look at the icons, they are for sure not as sharp, even though the screenshots show it as a 4K image. Now this is purely for battery life and performance, and it doesn't bother me at all because the battery life has been solid throughout the week. I've been averaging 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, and I have had no problems making it through the entire day. I just wish that it had wireless charging. With the glass back in this form factor, you gotta put in wireless charging. I know not everybody uses it, but come on, Sony. Another thing that I was super excited about is this 19 megapixel Sony Exmor RS stack sensor that has a feature that I never thought was possible on a smartphone. You get an insane 960 frames per second slow motion burst, and even though this is 720p, this is a really cool feature to play with. You just hit this button and it records a very small portion of super slow motion, and even though it's limited, it's awesome that you can even do this on a phone. With Sony making some of the best mobile sensors in the world, I really had high hopes for this one. The best way to describe it is, it's good, but it's not great. When it comes to imaging, the camera is good. Don't get me wrong, you get nice dynamic range, neutral colors, and you get some very nice detail in the shots, but I've seen better on other phones like the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the Google Pixel. The processing and sharpening seem to be a little too heavy for my liking. Sometimes the white balance is just totally off, and a lot of times it's overexposed, and you can fix that with the manual mode. But the most disappointing is the low light performance because there is no optical image stabilization. It relies on the digital steady shot, and the noise reduction could be much better. The digital stabilization works well in video though, and the 4K video is nice on the XZ Premium, and the audio capture is also very good. Take a listen. I shot a ton of footage with the XZ Premium, so look out for a cinematic 4K sample coming very soon. Obviously, I'm still using this phone, but I can't lie, I'm a little disappointed with it. When comparing to other Android phones out there like the Galaxy S8 Plus, where it has a better design, a better camera, and wireless charging, I wouldn't be doing my duty as a reviewer to make you think twice before you buy this phone. So let's say that you were to buy this phone. Would you hate it? I don't think so. I think it's a good phone. I just think it's missing some key components like the output of the dual front-facing speakers, the bulky design, and just okay camera. I think these things should make you explore some other options. Who knows? Software updates could come out and change the output of the speakers and processing of the camera, and this is what I'm really hoping for. I have this really soft spot for Sony phones. I've always gravitated towards them. So Sony, please release some updates and give this phone its full potential. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If anything changes, I will make a follow-up video. And if you want to keep up with me, then follow me on social media and make sure you hit that subscribe button for more cool videos like this and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.